Ear Hustle 411, keeping your ear to the streets. It's your girl, Jameisha Trice, and we are here at the Get With This Day Party. I have the pleasure right now of interviewing a wonderful guest. He is a hip-hop artist, and he also has a wonderful story to talk about. I want you guys to be introduced to Mr. Antwone Muhammad. Tell us what brings you here today.
I'm just out really supporting the Dre's event that my wife did. Tifa, real big fan of hip hop. Like Dre's personally is one of my top 10 best MCs personally, on my list. I know a lot of people have their lists and names they put in it, but he's in my top 10. But I'm just out having some fun, just something to break the norm, getting out of the studio and getting away from the everyday work hustle, just to get out and enjoy myself.
Wonderful, wonderful. And it's always a good thing to support other people out here. And I appreciate you saying, hey, you an MC yourself and, giving a shout out to another MC. That's dope to come out and support. So what I really want to talk with you about is we talk a lot about, breast cancer and things like that from a woman's perspective, but we have the opportunity to talk with someone, Ear Hustle 411 family, that has experienced this disease in a very unique way, and a lot of times men don't get an opportunity to talk about this disease. So can you just tell us a little bit I want to hear about your experience and what motivated you to fight through this, and maybe some words of encouragement for someone that's going through what you're going through right now.
Man, I definitely, to speak on the subject, it definitely pulls up a lot of emotion and a lot of thoughts. I know we're here on Ear Hustle and to discuss the matter. I'm not sure if we have quite enough time to talk about it all, but I will say this. Be careful what you ask for. The reason I say that is for anybody to know me and to know my family knows that, like every other human being, I come with my set of flaws and baggage like every other human being. However, to know me is to know I'm a God-fearing person and to know that I'm a humble and good person, at least in my humble opinion. The reason I say be careful what you ask for is at night, every night when I prayed, something unique about my prayers, I would always say to God, thank you for all that you've given me in terms of my family and things around me. I want you to continue to utilize me and allow me to be an example that through you, all things are possible. So I'll be a hypocrite now to be mad at the way he did it. He chose to do it. I feel that cancer was a tool that God chose to use as an instrument to say, let me see if you really believe the stuff you're saying to me, son. Let me see if you really believe the way you say you believe, I was taught as a child that every true believer be tried severely at least once or twice in their lifetime. Sometimes some people translate that to say every true believer be tried once severely every year in their life. At the time of my diagnosis, I went through my violin story to find out. I didn't even know men could get it till I was being diagnosed with it. But then to find out 1% of men are subject or vulnerable to, obtaining this type of diagnosis, I was devastated. I felt some type of way. I was in my emotion. God, why I want to do this to me? Why, I try to do X, Y, and Z. Try to live my life a certain way. But then I asked myself, well, why not me? Cancer has taken my granddad, my grandmother, 2 of my aunts, and my uncle. But the DNA test came out to say it doesn't run in my family. But what that taught me is that we're a product of our environment in every sense, meaning our thoughts are living, breathing things from our diet to our lifestyle. And a lot of the things that's going on in the urban community feeds cancer. A lot of the things we don't consider cancer, being arguing all the time or just entertaining negative thoughts, all those are forms of cancer, and it starts there. So at the time of my diagnosis, after I played my violin through the house for a few days, woe is me, I decided, well, if I ask God to show people that use me as an example that through him all things are possible, let me stop being a hypocrite and let me start applying my faith. Let me change my diet. I stopped eating meat. I don't drink sugary drinks as far as juices, sodas, things of that nature. I only drink alkaline water, 9.5 pH or higher. I drink a half gallon of celery juice every couple of days. I drastically changed my lifestyle. And within doing that, a good friend of mine, Sister Antwone Muhammad, at the time of my diagnosis said, Antwone, just try something. Try stop eating meat for 2 weeks until your surgery. I did that just to try it, see what happened. And the tumor shrank from 7 centimeters to 2. So at that point, I looked up and I said, I get it. God, I get it. I see what you're trying to tell me. So I changed my lifestyle, and I've been fortunate that here it is, a year and a half later, I'm cancer free, in the best shape of my life. I would be moving around better, but due to CrossFit training, I have my walking boot on. But
for those of you who can't see, because we're not framed to see it, he has a full boot on. Yeah. You've been doing a thing in training. You got a little too excited. What happened?
Yeah, I was doing CrossFit training, just trying to push the limits on my body and just my not only my thinking but my body as well, and just trying to get back to. I don't want to say get back to full health, because I feel as though where I am now, I've never been here. At the point of my diagnosis and when I went through that, Twan Gabbs died. So at that point, Antwone Muhammad, which is my government name, was, started to take form. I went through something really severe during my surgery. During my surgery, I lost 5 counts of blood. My hemoglobin dropped to a 6. And doctors couldn't believe I was still alive, that I was even walking around not knowing that my hemoglobin was a 6. But at the time of my surgery, I had an out-of-body experience, and God spoke to me. I stood over my own body. This may sound crazy. I know what happened to me, so I don't really care how people perceive that. I stood over my own body on my hospital bed, and God stood behind me with his hand on this shoulder, and he asked me the question, why should I let you back in there? And I had to have a real conversation with him. I won't go into the depths of the conversation, but he helped me realize a lot of things. Not saying I was this bad person, but one person's limit is different from another person's limit. Some people are allowed to go out into the world and be wild as all know, God knows what, and do certain things. But in life, you're responsible for what you know. And since a child, I've been privileged to be privy or open to certain information where God showed me certain things in my life. I'm not necessarily that dude that could get away with a lot of stuff a lot of people get, because I know better. And they say when you know better, you should do better. So God snatched me by my collar and said, boy, you ain't want to listen, you're going to sit down and listen today. Matter of fact, I got you right now. So you need to tell me why I need to let you go back, because right now you mine. And I had to have a real conversation with him, and I made a promise to him that I would dedicate my life to not be about me anymore. My life ain't about me. It's about everybody but me. It's about my wife, my children. It's about who can I help? Who could I inspire today? Who could I touch today? Whose life, when I wake up today, whose life can I help make better today? Who could I say, okay, at least today I was able to help this person? And if I wake every day and can't say at least I helped somebody that day, I'm in trouble. So I know what lies on the other side for me. So that's really the gist of it. But I'm thankful that God pulled me through it, and I'm making do with the time that I have and trying to make it all valuable, make it all count.
Well, we're thankful that you are here too. This is such an inspiring, just amazing story, and for you to just be so courageous to share your story with Ear Hustle. We really, really appreciate it, and we thank you. We're happy that you are in good health now, and that you even were healthy enough to hurt your foot, but that's small in comparison to what you went through. So as far as the disease, how can those who want to know more about it, or those who want to know even if they have it, what can they do?
Preventative health, preventative health, preventative health. I work in healthcare. I've worked in healthcare now for the past 5 years. Oftentimes when you go to doctor's offices or medical centers, you see mom and you see children there, but you don't see dad there. Because we feel like we Superman. It can't happen to us. Preventative health. Oftentimes we only go to the doctor when we're sick, and we think the emergency room is a doctor's office. It's not. Choose you a doctor that you're comfortable with, stick with that doctor, and go see your doctor on a regular basis, even when nothing is wrong with you. That way, your doctor can have snapshots of you when you're healthy. So when something goes wrong, they know, they have a gauge or a measuring stick to know, I have to get this person back to this level because this is what they look like when they're healthy. Because oftentimes we misuse medicine, and we go to Dr. A for the runny nose, Dr. B for the headache, Dr. C for the this, Dr. D for that. Then when something go wrong, and then we go to Dr. E and he prescribe us something, we want to sue Dr. E for malpractice, but our medical records are all over the place. And we didn't do that doctor justice to say, well, they can see everything that may have built up to that moment. So I would say practice preventative health. I would say watch your diet. Your diet is 80 to 90% of it. Eat healthy, drink, clean water, alkaline water, a lot of vegetables and fruit, and stay active.
I hear a book coming. I really hear this story, and
yeah. Now,
well, tell us more.
I'm working on a book called Cancer is the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me.
Wow. That is an amazing title. And when you come out with this book, we are going to post everything about this book. So be on the lookout for this book. So I have had the privilege of hearing your music, and you are definitely uber talented, one of the best MCs that I've heard out of Chicago, period. And you heard that from me. So tell us about, maybe some of the projects that you have coming out.
I got a couple things going on now. I've been working with American Cancer Society, and a couple friends that I've been blessed to have over the years in the music industry. I have two big projects coming up. One is called The Tumor. I actually formulated a band called The Tumor as well. And the Tumor project I'm releasing solely to help and be a platform to help those that went through something similar to what I went through, and to help the families gain closure who lost someone to that. So The Tumor is basically a body of songs that is my open testimony and confession as to everything I went through that led up to my diagnosis, and everything I was going through at the time. I wrote about everything I was going through. So anybody that's battled with cancer or lost someone to it, that project brings closure to a lot of the questions you may have wanted to ask them. How does chemo feel? What is it like when that? And so it's my testimony. And that project, I'm going to donate a lot of the proceeds of that project to help a lot of cancer survivors. And then I have a second project that we're working on to release later on this year. It's called The GOAT, G-O-T-E, the God of the Earth. And the first song off that we're going to be releasing in a couple weeks is called Justice or Else. It's a record leading up to the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. And the record is called Justice or Else. It features Minister Louis Farrakhan, Lil Herb, Lil Bibby, Katie Got Bands, King Louis, GLC, a lot of the artists here in Chicago that's doing big things. And it's our voice. I've been, goes back to me saying I want to utilize my voice to help people. It's the voice of urban black America saying we're tired. Black lives matter, and you all are going to treat us like our lives matter, or else we're not taking it anymore. So, I've definitely got some things in the making. God is good. So, just definitely working. Look out for those projects. The Tumor and the GOAT.
Awesome. You guys, we're going to probably put these links in to the music, so you guys be on the lookout for that. My boy Twine Gabs, doing some amazing things. He is a survivor and an amazing artist. So you guys be on the lookout for him. Ear Hustle 411, always keeping your ears to the streets. It's your girl, Jameisha Trice. Peace.